Alright, here we go. Let's talk about Ruger LC Carbine in 10 millimeter. I'm pretty excited about this one. Never been shot yet. Gonna take it out to the range soon. So a lot of people are excited about this particular version of the LC Carbine in 10 millimeter. When it first came out, they had a 5.7 by 28 version. Then they came out with a 45 ACP version. Now the 10 millimeter, and this is what people have been waiting for. If you're not familiar with firearms, 9 millimeter, 10 millimeter doesn't sound like much difference, but it is. The 10 millimeter rounds are not just 1 millimeter bigger in diameter, they're also longer, so they can hold more gunpowder, they pack more of a punch. This is going to be, I expect it to have a pretty good recoil with the hotter loads. So as I understand it, you can get some ammo, some target ammo that's not super powerful, and you can buy some very expensive ammo that is really quite powerful. Some people use 10 millimeter as a bare defense round. They might be hand loading. If you hand load, you can get even more power. This round has a lot of potential. Literally you can go hunting with it, hunt hogs. You can use it as bare defense. Apparently the Glock 20, Glock 40, those are popular in Alaska as a bare defense gun. I'm not sure what rounds they're using, probably none of the ones that I have here. I would assume that they're probably hand loading to get extra power. So let's take a look at this weapon. So I've got some accessories on it already. Let's talk about what it comes with out of the box. So what it comes with are these flip-up sights, flip-up iron sights. Iron. They're Mostly plastic. And they're pretty good. They're kind of like AR-15 style, with an aperture and then a post in the front that you can adjust up and down. You can adjust this side to side, and you can co-witness with a red dot if you wish, which is what I'm doing here. I've got some accessories, as I mentioned. It does not come with this magazine holder. That's what this is from Recover Tactical. All it does is hold an extra magazine. So when you pick this up and you need it in a moment of stress, or you need it in action, you don't have to throw another mag in your pocket. You can just carry one with you, which is really nice. And all you do is you put your thumb on it, pull it out like that, and then you slam it home and you're good to go. So let's see what comes in the box besides the firearm, iron sights, folding stock. There's a button right here that you press. It's quite solid. It's adjustable as well with this control here. You hit the button and it folds. It is not held in place by much. It's basically just this hinge that keeps it from coming apart, coming down, or coming away from the gun. I can deploy it pretty easily with a flip of the thumb and a little flick of the gun. It deploys quite easily. Some people in other videos, I've heard that they have, maybe this is with earlier versions of the gun, that they had to lift up on this stock in order to deploy it. This one deploys very easily. Very, very easily. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to fold it up very often unless, you know, I'm putting it away in the safe and I need a little extra space or something like that. But this gun will probably live most of its life with the stock extended and deployed like that. So, let's see, what else? Let's look in the box. Here's the box it comes in. Let's see what you get. Oop, I think I got it upside down. I did. So it comes pretty well packaged. I know it's just a cardboard box, but you get your instruction manual, some good information in there. It'll come in this bag, of course. There's a thin piece of foam on top of that, and then the gun has a nice cutout, very well protected. It comes with a couple of Allen keys, your lock that I have not obviously used yet or ever, and it comes with this is a M-Lock QD sling. It says M-Lock QD sling cup right there. So you can attach a QD sling. Let's just put this to the side. Because it comes with lots of M-Lock holes. So you can put, I mean, there's not just 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows of M-Lock. So you could put your M-Lock QD mount up here somewhere, and then there's also a QD sling mount here on the other side as well. You could put a sling in this slot here, but you'd have to attach something up here to the other side. There's also a nice little QD right there. So if you wanted to do a single point sling, which I'm thinking that's the first thing I'm going to try. Single point sling just attached right here. We'll see how that works out. Like I said, 10 millimeter. I'm just excited. I've never fired a 10 millimeter before, and it has a little bit of a reputation for being powerful. So apparently it was developed, the 10 millimeter round was developed in 1983 and then adopted by the FBI in 1989 because there was a shootout in Miami, I believe, where the suspects were wearing body armor and the weapons that they were using could not defeat the body armor, so they wanted something more powerful in their handguns, and they chose 10 millimeter. Part of that story, that's not the end of the story, is the FBI eventually went away from the 10 millimeter because the smaller FBI agents, smaller in stature, say if you're only 150 pounds, something like that, some people had a hard time with the recoil, in a handgun. And I could totally understand that. So they actually developed a new cartridge, newer even, called the 40 caliber Smith & Wesson, which is basically just a shortened version of the 10 millimeter. Same diameter, 10 millimeter equals 0.4 inches, so 40 caliber. And it's just a shorter round. And it's easier to handle. I've got a 40 caliber Beretta, shot that plenty. It's very easy to handle. Now let's just mention the other accessories that I have on there. So I want to use this. Oh, I don't want to, but this is going to be used as a home defense weapon, basically, and a range toy, to be honest, because I think it'll be fun to shoot. The only problem is 10 millimeter ammo is expensive. It's way more expensive than 9 millimeter. If you want to do a lot of shooting, get yourself a 9 millimeter pistol caliber carbine, or a 22. I don't know. If you want to do a lot of shooting, 10 millimeter isn't necessarily the way to go unless you have tons of money, which I don't. So I went with a red dot on here from a brand I've never heard of, but I saw reviews of it online and they said it was pretty decent for the money, and it has pretty good quality. I mean, it appears to be made of aluminum. Agu-Kexa, I mean, I'm sure we're all familiar with them. Sure. Never heard of them before, but it has the feature that I wanted, which is shake awake, meaning that when you put the weapon down for 2 minutes, it will turn the red dot off automatically. And then when it senses motion, when you pick it up, it'll turn on automatically. So that saves battery life, and it just makes it quicker to deploy. That's what I want. As a home defense weapon, it has to be quick. If you need this to defend your home, I can't be fiddling with knobs and things. I just want to pick up the gun, turn off the safety. By the way, it has a safety on both sides, and go. So with the shake awake red dot that co-witnesses with your iron sights, you're good to go. And so I went with this inexpensive light laser combo from Defentech. That's a new company to me, but $37 for a light sounded pretty good. I might move the location of this. I might try a different light completely. Who knows? But I've got plenty of time to try different accessories. So the controls on this light are pretty handy. You don't have sometimes you have a light up front and then a wire that goes back to a pressure pad or something like that. This isn't like that. This has the controls built directly into the unit itself. One button right here to turn on the light. Press it once, your light turns on. Press it again, it turns off. Press it twice, flashy mode. Press it once again and it turns off. So there's another button right there, a circular button, that's for the laser. So you press it once, your laser turns on, I don't want to shine it directly into my camera and screw up my camera, but you can see it's a green laser. It's pretty bright. Press it again, turn it off, press it twice, flashy mode. That's the technical term. It's flashy mode. If you didn't know, press it one more time, flashy mode off. Rechargeable, 1600 lumens for 1 hour. Just the laser alone, much longer. I think they quoted it's many hours, many hours, like something like 24 hours or some crazy number, if I remember from reading the instructions. So those are just the accessories that I chose because I'm on a budget for now. I'll probably try, I like this magazine holder slash hand rest. You can put your hand up like this if you've got really big hands, or you can grab it like that. The magazine, I just like this thing. I like it. It feels mostly solidly connected, except there is a little bit of play back and forward. It's all polymer, and you can hold an extra magazine and have a place to put your hand. So I have 2 locations to put my hand. I can put them here, or I can put it up here to work those controls. I might play around with moving this light and putting an angled foregrip on there, so that you can rest your hand here, still get to the controls. I'm not sure, but this feels pretty good because most of the weight of the gun is the bolt, and this is kind of on the heavy side. It's, I believe, over 7 pounds, and you're going to want to deck it out with, you know, your own accessories plus large magazines that are quite heavy. This is the magazine that it ships with. Now, I'm going to talk about a couple of gripes that I have with this gun before even firing it. I've been handling it, I've been kind of testing the function of it. You know, I put in a magazine, left the safety on, and I cycled it several times to see if these rounds would function. Everything that I tried, which was the Cellier and Delot, which is kind of how it's pronounced, maybe, and the Range Dynamics, I think I tried, the Underwoods, and the Magtech hollow points. I tried those as well, you know, loading up this magazine and just racking that charging handle back and forth. I don't know if that's a thing that people do, but I just needed to know if it was going to function before I took it out to the range. So I did that. Flawless. No problems with the hollow points. No problems with any ammunition. Okay, now let's get to those gripes. It's mostly magazine based, the gripes that I have. So this is the magazine that it ships with. It's not a Ruger branded magazine, and it's not a Glock branded magazine. By the way, this takes Glock magazines, if I didn't mention that already. You can use your basic 15 round Glock magazines, which I've got a little gripe about that I'm going to talk about, but mostly it's with this magazine. Now, I'm going to assume that since Ruger shipped the gun with this magazine, that it's going to function well, because Ruger, in my mind, has a really good reputation. My dad and I have used Ruger firearms in the past and had really good experiences. But this SGM Tactical magazine, I don't know if you can see that, but it says SGM Tactical right there, which is an aftermarket magazine producer. Okay, my list of gripes. One, I could not find another one of these to buy. There are several places that sell them, but right now they're all out of stock. I cannot find these anywhere, and I looked. I spent at least an hour, 2 hours, I don't know. I spent a fair amount of time looking around. Everybody's out of stock, so you can't get them. So that's why I didn't have these Glock magazines before. I bought them to use with this firearm. So I'm going to test those out. My gripe with this magazine is, say, it has 28, well, it goes from 4 to 28, the witness holes in the back of the magazine. From 4 to 28. But if you look at the bottom, right here it says 2 EXT. So this base plate is a 2-round extender, and I did not install that. It comes out of the box with that. Now, I don't know if that's the reason why that the witness holes lie. They lie. If you have 20 rounds in here, it will show 19 rounds in the witness holes. Ask me how I know. My first experience loading this magazine and then putting it into the firearm, I was just kind of using one of these loaders, chatting with my dad, not really paying attention. I was, just loading a few, and then I'd look at the witness holes to see where I'm at. And since it lies, and I thought I had 28, okay, now I need 2 more in there. I nearly broke this thing because I put 31 rounds in this magazine, and it would barely fit in the gun, and I was like, what is going on? Does this thing even work? So that's just something to be aware of. These witness holes cannot be trusted. Do not put 31 rounds in it. It will not. I was slamming it in there trying to fit it in. It would not fit. Of course it's not going to fit. So that's my gripes with this. My other gripe with this firearm so far, so it's obviously designed to take Glock magazines, right? Well, the Glock magazine has a base plate, right? And this firearm, I'll do this left-handed. So take a look at the bottom of the grip. So it's flared out or beveled or whatever you want to call it in the front and the back, and then there's a cutout in the middle. Now, I don't have extra large hands or anything, but when I grab this, my hand kind of intrudes into the mag well a little bit. So if you were to take a Glock magazine with that base plate and ram it home, there's a potential to pinch yourself right here. Now, this is a small gripe, clearly, but just to illustrate the point, I tried to induce the problem. I put a death grip on that grip, and I slammed that Glock magazine in there, and I got myself a little tiny pinch right there. Not a huge deal, but it's possible. It's possible to get yourself pinched with certain magazines, especially anything with a base plate or any kind of ledge here. That has a potential to pinch you, especially if you have large hands. I mean, my hands are not that big. They're slightly larger than average. And I'm kind of surprised that it just feels a little bit short. The grip does. I know they couldn't make it longer because they have to maintain compatibility with these Glock magazines, but it does just feel a little bit short. Alright, so you've got your charging handle on the left side here, and it is swappable to the right side. You have ambidextrous safety right there, both sides. You have a bolt release on both sides. So this button here, that can release your bolt if it's locked back. And then this control here, this one can be used to lock the bolt back. If you pull the charging lever back and push up on this control here, it'll lock that bolt back, that big heavy bolt. So the way they got this gun so short is that the bolt actually extends past the barrel. You can see, let's take this out of there. We know it's empty. Yep. So you can see the end of the barrel right there. But see the bolt? So it's in two pieces that lock together, and this part of the bolt extends maybe this far, so that weight is actually kind of over the barrel a little bit, and it makes the gun feel heavy in the middle. It doesn't feel so front heavy exactly. It feels middle heavy, if that's a thing. So having this grip here really kind of makes sense, because it puts two hands right under the heaviest part of the gun, and I think that's going to work out well. So what else is there? I could tear it down for you. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments, because I plan to do more than one video with this firearm, because it's really interesting to me, and I'm quite excited about it. It's a 10mm carbine. How can you not be excited? So what I'm going to do when I go to the range, I'm going to hammer on this magazine, the stock magazine. And I'm also going to test some rounds in Glock magazines, just to test those for functionality. And I'm going to use just full metal jacket the first time. I hope that it is, I mean, I want this thing to be good so bad. I hope that it is reliable and feeds all these full metal jacket rounds. I've got several boxes of the Fiocchi range dynamics and the Cellier and below, a few boxes of Herders. So I'm assuming that the Herders and the Cellier and below, I'll just call it S&B instead of Cellier and below. I'll just call them S&B. And then they don't have ballistic information on there. I assume if you're not bragging about your feet per second the way the range dynamics does, 1250 feet per second, I'm going to assume that it's not a very powerful or hot load, which is fine, especially if you're just shooting at paper. And then I'll probably do another test in a different video with hollow points. So I've got a small selection of hollow points here. I've got Underwood ammo. It says 180 grain, 1300 feet per second. This stuff is expensive. This could be a good home defense, self-defense load. And then I have some cheaper stuff, MagTech, hollow points, and some basic CCI Blazer hollow points as well. So I have to know if hollow points work in it. I'm sure that the FMJs will work just fine, but I got to test to see what it's capable of, how reliable it is, and what ammunition to run, and what magazines to run. So I have some other aftermarket magazines. That'll be another video that I'm going to test. So I'm probably going to do maybe 3 videos in total with this firearm. Now, I think that covers most things. Oh, I didn't mention one feature. I didn't mention a couple of features. So one feature I didn't mention, threaded barrel. So this little cap comes off. There's a red O-ring in there to help retain it, but it comes off, and you can put a suppressor or whatever you want on there. I'm not going to do that. Guns are fun because they go boom. I don't want to put a suppressor on it. That would be good for home defense, but it's going to make the gun longer. 10 millimeter auto is it breaks the sound barrier. You need subsonic ammo for a suppressor, to my knowledge, for it to be actually effective. And 10 millimeter, I'm pretty sure all the ammo I have is going to break the sound barrier. What else? Here we've got this cheek piece right here on the adjustable stock. It is a stock, it's not a brace. This isn't a pistol, it's a 16-inch barrel. So this is a carbine. This cheek piece, I don't know if that's going to end up being a gripe for me or not, but it feels just a tiny bit sharp here. And I saw one guy in a video who he got bit a little bit by this part, and it actually put it actually made him bleed a little bit. So maybe I'll have to, I don't know, sand this down. I don't know what I could do if that becomes a problem, because this will kick. It's a 10 millimeter, and I am a little bit tall, so I'm probably going to have that fully extended, which puts my cheek kind of right around here, kind of halfway on the cheek piece, halfway off the cheek piece. So we'll see if this, and this is removable if somehow. I think you have to take the stock off, and then you can lift up on this flexible piece here. I can move it, but I can't fully take it off. See, it's not meant to be adjustable backward and forward. It's meant to lock in place. Either be locked in place or be removed. Those are your 2 options. I have heard that the sights are from the factory, don't require adjustment for most people. So I have not taken them off. I have not fiddled with them at all. I'm going to test that. I want to see if these sights are dialed in from the factory. Let's see. Let's just hear what it sounds like. It sounds quite smooth, actually. It's clean and oiled. I have taken it apart just for my own education. It's easy to take apart. There's a pin right there that you use a small screwdriver or a punch or something to push that through. And then the pin comes out on this side. It won't come out all the way, but it'll push out most of the way. And then you slide the whole trigger group and grip backward and down. That comes apart. It's fairly easy. So yeah, let's get this guy to the range. I'll see you there. Alright, I've gone through several boxes of ammo so far. I told you I was going to hammer on this magazine that comes with the firearm. It comes with the Ruger LC Carbine. That's what I'm doing. I've loaded it up and shot, I don't know, 3 or 4 times with this magazine. Adjusted my red dot a little bit. I think I've got it kind of dialed in close enough. And I'm going to shoot some steel. It's all in your mind, Adam. Go slow and steady. I think I need a little more adjustment because I'm having to aim a little bit low, just a little bit low. So adjust, shoot, adjust, shoot. So apparently a lot of people have said, see how I have the bolt open and a loaded magazine in there? Now you can obviously use the controls to close that bolt, but the gun is a little bit sensitive in that you can bump the stock and that will close. See that? It's just a little quirk of the gun, something to be aware of. Now, back to that steel. Okay, got to do it again. 7 shots for 6 targets, not great. Got to do it again. Safety on. This time, don't rush it. If you miss one, slow down. Yes. Oh my God. Safety on. All right. I can finally leave this station. Okay, here we go. Now I want to do something fun. I'm going to try and stay on target to a closer target, about half the distance from those 25 yard targets. So 12.5, 15, I'm not sure how far away it is, but it's at an engagement type of distance. To me, you know, just to my mind. I'm going to load it up the way you might load this with these accessories. So you're going to put, of course, the stock magazine in there, and this is a little bit of a preview for some aftermarket magazines that I'm going to cover later. So this is the way you might have it decked out. Lots of rounds in there. Now I'm going to try and stay on target. I'm going to try and put multiple rounds quickly into the same target. It would help if I was charged. Not bad. I missed a couple of times, but not bad and a lot of fun. All right, now I was able to stay on target fairly well, not perfect, but I put a lot of rounds into that steel. And now we have 9 different steel targets. I'm going to jump around in no specific order. I'm going to jump around and try and shoot all 9 different targets, maybe multiple times. I'll probably end up going through this whole magazine. So here we go. 9 steel targets. One in the chamber. Let's see what we can do. I'll start with that big one to make it look easy. I'm not gonna go super fast. I'm gonna take my time and make sure I have accurate shots. All right, not perfect, but I hit most of them. All right, lots of fun. So this has been a fun day. It really has. 0 malfunctions. 0. I went through herders. I went through the Fiocchi range dynamics. I went through the S&B. Everything. I shot all full metal jacket. It was flawless. I don't know what else to say. The only thing that wasn't flawless was me and my aim and my ability to adjust an optic. I'm learning. I'm trying to learn and educate at the same time, or just share my experience and have a good time. So that'll do it for this range day. So here's the Ruger LC Carbine after the range day. Just had a few things I wanted to talk about real quick. You can see in the video the recoil is not that bad. Yes, it's a 10mm, but I found it to be pretty manageable. I could get rounds on target repeatedly, fairly quickly. Is it as fast as, you know, the 5.7 model would be? Probably not. That has very little recoil, but I was able to shoot it fairly quickly. I was satisfied with it. One thing I want to mention is my light laser combo. It came loose during the range day. Is that a case of user error and just not tightening down those M-lock screws hard enough? Possibly. There's only 2 and they're way at the back. So I don't know why they did it that way. You could have had one, you know, up closer to the front, or one in the middle, or something like that. perhaps I just didn't tighten them down hard enough because this is polymer, plastic. So I didn't want to break it. So I didn't tighten them down as hard as I possibly could. So I'm going to try it again. I might as well. I already purchased the thing, so if I break it, I break it. But I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to tighten them down harder. So I had a list of gripes about the magazines. One thing I didn't list, my third gripe, it only comes with the one magazine. This one SGM Tactical magazine. That's kind of a gripe. For the price you pay for this really nice Ruger firearm, and they throw in a aftermarket magazine, come on, give us two. Why not? These are not expensive. So for the price you pay, I think you should get two magazines. I tested 6 different magazines, the stock 30-round magazine, and then 5 15-round Glock magazines. I had no issues with any of them, obviously. Everything functioned perfectly, which made me very happy. The number of rounds that I went through, I lost track. It was over 400. That's a lot of 10mm ammo going down range. It really is. And I was just having fun, and I just kept shooting and shooting. It gets quite expensive, but you know, when you're having fun, and you lose track. The cheek piece, I had a bit of a worry that I might get pinched or bit by this sharp bit here, because I thought my cheek was going to rest kind of half on and half off, but you can see in the video, most of my cheek, once I'm tucked in, most of my cheek is on that cheek piece. I had no issues. No issues at all. There was no discomfort for me at all. The only thing it did was push my beard hair out of the way. Let's see what else. I did not do much testing with the iron sights. I only fired a few rounds before I got impatient, and I really wanted to test that red dot. I thought that would be fun, and it was, of course. Spent some time adjusting it. Once I got it dialed in, shooting with that red dot, so fun. It really makes things easy. If you have bad eyes like I do, the red dot, great. Another thing I didn't mention, I said it was about 7 pounds. I did weigh it without a magazine and with these 2 accessories on it, and I got 7 pounds 9 ounces. I went to the Heartland Shooting Park managed by Hornaday. So if you're wondering where that nice range was, Alden, Nebraska. The Heartland Shooting Park. Ironically, I didn't shoot Hornaday ammo through it. I haven't done that yet. I showed you all the rounds that I went through at the range. So, got to clean it, but you know, it's dirty. I got it dirty. I put a lot of rounds through it. 0 malfunctions. The red dot functioned quite well. It didn't come loose. It didn't. It's a very inexpensive optic. I only paid $60 for that Agukexa brand optic, and so far so good. This thing felt very solid, actually. I know it has a little bit of play backward and forward, but this Recover Tactical magazine holder / handrest, I thought it was great. I know it's a little bit expensive for just a piece of plastic, but it gives you enough functionality that I think it's worth it. So that's what I've got to say about this thing. I'm excited to shoot it again. I had a really good experience. And there you go. So thanks for watching.